The day did not yet have a name, but the story already did. Bullies slapped a disabled girl in a diner. An hour later, bikers walked in. It began quietly, the way ordinary days always do, with the soft hum of a roadside diner and the smell of coffee hanging in the air. No one inside imagined that before the sun dipped lower, courage would be tested, cruelty would be exposed, and unexpected guardians would arrive to remind everyone what standing up for another human being truly means. The diner sat alone along a long stretch of highway, its windows fogged from the warmth inside and the cold drizzle outside. Trucks passed now and then, tires hissing against wet asphalt. Inside, a young woman named Lily sat at a corner table near the window. She was 22, slight in build, with a gentle face and careful movements. A metal brace supported her right leg, and a folded cane leaned against the wall beside her. Lily came to this diner often because it felt safe, familiar. The waitress knew her order by heart, and the booth by the window gave her space to stretch her leg without feeling in the way. Lily had not always been this cautious. Years earlier, an accident had changed her body and the rhythm of her life. She had learned patience the hard way, learned how to ignore stares, how to move forward even when the world felt impatient with her pace. That evening, she was waiting for her mother to finish a late shift at a nearby motel. The diner was a small refuge, a place to pass the time with a book and a cup of tea. The bell over the door jingled sharply, and 3 young men walked in, loud and restless, smelling of rain and cheap cologne. They took the booth across from Lily, laughing too loudly, pushing each other, knocking into chairs as if the space belonged to them alone. At first, Lily kept her eyes on her book. She had learned that attention could be dangerous. But the laughter grew sharper, turning into whispers and glances aimed in her direction. One of them noticed the cane first. Another noticed the brace. Their curiosity twisted into something uglier. They began to comment, their words low at first, then louder, testing the room. The waitress shot them a warning look, but the diner was nearly empty, and confidence grew in the absence of witnesses. They mocked the way Lily stood when she went to the counter to pay for her tea, exaggerating her careful steps. One of them imitated her walk, laughing as if cruelty were a performance. Lily's face burned, but she said nothing. She just wanted to leave. When she turned back toward her table to collect her bag, one of them stepped into her path. He said something cruel, something unnecessary. Lily tried to move around him, her balance unsteady. That was when it happened. A sharp sound cut through the diner, sudden and violent. The slap echoed louder than it should have. Lily stumbled, catching herself on the edge of the table, her book falling to the floor. For a moment, time froze. The waitress gasped. The cook shouted from the kitchen. Lily stood there, stunned, her cheek burning, her eyes wide not with pain but disbelief. The men laughed, shocked by their own boldness, feeding off each other's recklessness. Then fear flickered in their eyes as they realized what they had done. The manager called the police. The bullies backed away, still smirking, muttering excuses, trying to look unafraid. Lily sank back into her booth, hands shaking. She felt small, exposed, humiliated in a way that hurt deeper than the slap itself. She wondered, as she often did in her hardest moments, why kindness seemed so fragile in the face of cruelty. The men left before the police arrived, disappearing into the rain. The diner fell into an uneasy silence. The waitress brought Lily a glass of water. Her hands trembling with anger. The manager apologized over and over, offering to close early, to walk her somewhere safe. Lily nodded, but her throat was tight. She did not want attention. She just wanted the world to feel normal again. An hour passed. The rain grew heavier. The police took statements and left, promising to look for the men. Lily stayed, waiting for her mother, staring out the window at the blurred lights of passing cars. The sting on her cheek had faded, but something heavier sat in her chest. She felt invisible and exposed at the same time, a painful contradiction she knew too well. Then the sound came. At first, it was distant, a low rumble that vibrated through the glass. It grew louder, unmistakable, engines rolling like thunder along the highway. The waitress looked up, confused. Headlights swept across the diner windows, one after another, bright and steady. The rumble became a chorus. The door opened, and they walked in. Not one or two, but a group of bikers, leather jackets dark with rain, boots heavy on the tile floor. Helmets tucked under arms, faces weathered and serious. The room felt smaller, charged with an energy that demanded attention without asking for it. They took in the diner with quick, practiced glances. One of them, a tall man with gray in his beard and kind but sharp eyes, noticed Lily immediately. He walked over slowly, respectful, stopping a few steps away. He asked, quietly, if she was okay. Lily hesitated. She had learned not to trust sudden concern. But something in his voice felt steady, grounded. She nodded, then shook her head, emotions spilling over despite her effort to contain them. The waitress, unable to hold it in, explained what had happened, her words rushed and angry. The bikers listened. No shouting, no dramatic reactions. Just silence, thick and heavy, as the story settled among them. The man nodded once, then turned to his group. They spread out through the diner, not threatening, but present in a way that felt protective, like walls rising around something fragile. They did not chase anyone. They did not demand justice with fists. Instead, they stayed. They ordered food. They talked with the staff. They made it clear, without saying it outright, that Lily was not alone. That this place was being watched now. When Lily's mother arrived, breathless and frightened, the bikers stood aside as Lily introduced her, voice shaking. The bearded man explained calmly that they would escort them home if they wanted. No pressure. Just an offer. As they walked out together, surrounded by the quiet presence of strangers who chose to care, Lily felt something shift inside her. The world had hurt her, yes. But it had also shown up for her in an unexpected way. The engines started again, the rumble softer now, almost reassuring. The bikers rode ahead and behind Lily in her mother's car, a moving shield through the rain-soaked streets. When they reached home, the bikers stopped, nodded, and one by one turned back toward the highway. That night, Lily lay awake thinking about fear, about courage, about how cruelty often shouts while kindness arrives quietly. She realized that strength was not only found in those who could intimidate, but in those who chose to stand beside someone vulnerable without asking for anything in return. The next morning, the bruise on her cheek had faded to a pale shadow, but the memory remained, reshaped. It was no longer just about what had been taken from her, but about what had been given back. Dignity. Safety. Faith in people. The story spread, not because of violence, but because of restraint, solidarity, and choice. And for everyone who heard it, the message was clear. You do not have to be loud to be powerful. You do not have to be fearless to be brave. Sometimes, all it takes to change a life is showing up and refusing to let cruelty have the final word.